Hello, everyone. So I am Lemuel Sugui. I'm part of group number 2. So we are assigned to discuss ethics and administrative accountability in public service. So I am instructed to discuss the introduction. So that would involve the definition of accountability, the types of accountability, and its relationship to the various public administrative models. So my other group mates are Joy Madrano, Abigail Melendres, Mary Grace Saturno, and Patricia Marituazon. So just a disclaimer, so I am using Zoom to record this discussion or lecture. So if you, I'm doing this real time, so if you hear me na nagbabakal or medyo nagpo-pause, please note that I am simulating my report as if I am in the classroom. So let's begin. So accountability. So when we talk about accountability in this report, I'm talking about administrative accountability, and that is the accountability of elected officials and of the policies emanating from them from the stage of planning, implementation, and evaluation. But not all types of accountability have the evaluation aspect to it. That ethics strengthens the sense of accountability of government institutions. That accountability is very important to maintain and sharpen the concept that the people wherein the past is created, diba? As a review, past is created for the people and because of the people is supreme over the public organization. In order to protect and promote the public interest, kailangan magkaroon ng standards, no? So kaya meron tayong standards of accountability. So before we discuss the types of accountability, I just want to share that there are standard questions that are all central to accountability. Lahat po ng types of accountability, meron po nitong mga questions na ito. So if you notice that I put open and close parentheses, some concepts na naka-open and close parentheses, ito po yung mga initial reflections ko when I saw the questions. Maybe as I go along, isipin din ninyo kung paano ba, ano ba talaga yung mga questions na to. Parehas kaya tayo nang iniisip in terms of the question. So, who is considered accountable? So, I think it can refer to office, person, or position. So, to whom is he accountable? Outright, sabihin natin the public, no? So, inaisip ko agad public, syempre, ano yan government institution yan. And the past, again, is created for the people and because of the people. So, dapat public. But later on, hindi ko pa po nababasa yung definitions and types of accountability when I actually saw this question. So, ito lang initial. But later on, tingnan natin, public nga lang ba accountable ang isang government institution? Sa public nga lang ba siya may responsibility? And then number 3, to what standards or values is he accountable? Is this question referring to rules? Di ba sinabi nga kailangan ng standards so that we will be able to promote and protect the public interest, no? So ito ba yung rule? So yun din naisip ko agad. So let's check also. And by what means is he made accountable? So naisip ko means is he made accountable? Naisip ko agad punishment ba to or sanction? So yun po yung mga areas na gusto nating makita. Okay? So let's proceed with the types of accountability. So we have traditional accountability, managerial accountability, program accountability, social accountability, and process accountability. So program and social accountability actually nakalump na sila into one. So social accountability is under program accountability. So I'll start with traditional accountability. So the traditional accountability, so it focuses on the regularity of fiscal transaction and faithful compliance as well as adherence to legal requirements and administrative policies. So outright, makikita nyo that traditional accountability is very internal in nature. It talks about a line item budget. It talks about how the government institution or organization uses their money. So So yun po ang traditional accountability. So it is owed to superiors in the bureaucracy. So hindi po siya outright na yung head of the agency is yung accountable person po. So sometimes, no, as long as the power to use the fiscal resources of the organization, nasa kanya po yung accountability. So it can be an accounting head, it can be a director, it can be a division chief. As long as na-discuss, nasa kanya yung power of using that fiscal resource, siya po ay accountable. So kanino siya accountable? So if we're talking about fiscal, and faithful compliance to the legal requirements and administrative policies. So ito po ay tumutukoy sa, so kung government agency po siya, tumutukoy po siya sa ating president dahil ang government agency po ay under the jurisdiction of the president or the executive, and as well as the legislature wherein the government institution is created, di ba? Wherein the budget of the government institution is provided by or is provided by the legislature and the executive. So when we talk about naman managerial accountability, so it concerns naman po with the efficiency and economy of the use of public funds, property, manpower, and other resources. So meaning, hindi na lang po siya nag-tackle or nagdi-deal with the public funds. So meron na siyang concept of economy of use of property, manpower, and other resources. So ang kanyang concern po is efficiency and economy. So I just want to emphasize on those keywords. And the manager is the person accountable and has responsibility to his superior. So kung ang manager po or head of the agency is the person accountable, siya po ay nagre-report sa president at sa legislature pa rin. So more than just the compliance, managerial accountability. So, make sure natin na hindi na-waste yung resources and hindi siya lumalabag sa kahit anong batas. So, it is also about simplification and cutting the red tape in the government or in the government agency. So, meron din po itong concept of improvement of processes in the government institution. So, whether it's to simplify, for example, yung filing ng taxes o simplify yung processes po ng pag-a-apply ng driver's license. So, ito po ay part ng managerial accountability. So, because of the term na efficiency, economy of public funds, property, manpower, and other resources, and doon sa concept of ensuring that there's no waste and there's no non-judicious activity will happen, pwede rin po siya maging subject to operational and management audit led by the Department of Budget and Management and Commission of Audit or the COA. So, para lang po mas maintindihan po natin yung definition ng efficiency, meron pong definitions or meron pong binigay na guidelines si Leo Herbert in terms of understanding efficient operation. So, number 1, holding cost constant while increasing the benefits. So, parang siya yun, parang if we're going to review yung ethics, parang utilitarianism siya, no? So, holding cost constant while increasing the benefits. So, ibig sabihin po, mas mataas dapat ang benefits rather than the cost. Holding the benefits constant while decreasing the cost. So, kung walang changes sa benefits, dapat naman ay nag-decrease yung cost. Increasing the cost at a lower rate rather than the benefits. So, ibig sabihin, pwedeng tumaas ang cost, but hindi niya dapat ma-supersede yung benefits na nakukuha and decreasing the cost at a lower rate than the benefits. Okay, so halos same lang po sila. Basta ang kanyang guideline lang naman po dito is yung cost dapat laging mas mababa kaysa doon sa benefits. Yung benefit dapat yung laging mas mataas. And when we talk about economical operation naman, is the elimination or reduction of needless costs. So for example, yung red tape, dahil po nagpapabagal siya ng proseso, ay mas tumataas po yung time na kinakailangan para maproseso ang isang bagay. So nasasayang po yung resources given to the person, no? So Yeah. Program accountability naman, it concerns with the results of the government operation. Ibig sabihin, medyo external na po siya. Kasi medyo na po yung word na results. When we talk about results po, is tangible, demonstrable, development results. So I would assume yung po yung kanyang ibig sabihin ng results. So, ibig sabihin po, no, external na po siya. Meron na pong concept, no, kanina, efficiency and economy inside the organization. And program accountability naman, we move naman to the results of government operation na external na po siya. So, kasi, mas makikita, ibig sabihin po ng results kasi, it actually talks about the effectiveness of your government, of the government operation, of its programs, of its projects. So it involves the accountability of the property of units as well as of individual bureaucrats whose activities together make for the effectiveness of the program. The accountable person is the head of the agency. Performance audit is different from fiscal audit. Performance audit is done on a non-regular basis compared to financial audit. So ako po, when I read this statement po, so I can relate this to some monitoring and evaluation po. So monitoring and evaluation, sometimes it is compared to audit. Kasi nga nagtitingin tayo ng mga lessons learned, ano ba yung mga challenges, ano ba yung mga naging effects doon sa pag-implement natin ng ating programa, and it is non-regular. Ibig sabihin, may time lang po siya depending on the indicators. No? For example, if this indicator entails na quarterly monitoring siya, quarterly monitoring lang siya ginagawa. Or kung kung annual monitoring lang ba siya or semi-annual monitoring siya. But kasi pag fiscal audit po siya, monthly po natin siya ginagawa or very regular po siyang ginagawa. Hindi po siya nakakalimutan ng ating mga oversight agencies like COA and DBM. So, program accountability. So, complete performance audit includes the following. Ito po yung mga guidelines po. Ito yung mga ating mga susundan. So, whether the government unit is carrying out only authorized activities on program, including attainment of purpose and objectives. So, ibig sabihin po, authorized activities po, nasa plano, approved by the head of the agency, or approved by the president or the legislature. Ibig sabihin, hindi ko lumalabag sa iyong mandate. It also includes the attainment of your purpose and objectives. Dapat po yung objectives natin when we develop the program, the activities, or the initiative should be achieved. Kung hindi man siya ma-achieve, dapat merong justification on why hindi na-achieve yung goals and objectives. So whether the programs and activities are conducted and expenditures are made in an effective, efficient, and economical manner in compliance with the requirements of applicable laws and regulations. So siya po pumapasok yung functions ng COA or ng DBM. So ano ba yung kanilang rule, no, in terms of government expenditure? Whether resources are being adequately controlled and used effectively, efficiently, and economically, whether all revenues and receipts from the operation under examination are being collected and properly accounted for. So dapat may audit po, may fiscal pa rin po na audit, no? Makikita pa rin po natin yung relationship ng performance audit tsaka ng fiscal audit. Whether the entity's accounting system complies with applicable accounting principles, standards, and related requirements. Whether the entity's financial statements, operating reports are properly disclosed. So meron din po dapat concept of transparency. So, dito po pumapasok yung social accountability. So, like I said kanina po, when I introduced the concept of program accountability, kasama din po dito yung social accountability. So, again, we're not just looking at the internal organization. So, maybe fiscal audit looks at the internal organization, but yung results nga po na sinasabi natin kanina on government operations, that would be external po. So when we talk about program accountability, we also have social accountability that it concerns with the social impact of the program. So ano po ba yung mga nangyari? So according to Norman Ton, social accountability is an operational variant of program accountability that seeks to inspire general confidence and secure what are widely regarded as desirable ends. So it really talks about the impact of the program. It talks about the effects of the initiatives of the program. It talks about the effects of efficient and economical government operations to the lives of our stakeholders and our recipients. And the last type of accountability is process accountability. So it emphasizes on the procedures and methods of operations and focuses on the black box inside system, which transforms inputs to outputs, recognizes that some goals may not be measured directly, thus it uses proxies to represent how goals are achieved. It is applicable to intergovernmental relations, especially in the provision of grants from the central government and downloaded to the local government. So dito po, pinapakita lang po natin. So I want to focus on the third concept. It is applicable to intergovernmental relations, especially in the provision of grants from the central government and download to the local levels. So dito na nga po, pinag-uusapan natin yung concept of negotiation. So ang ginamit lang natin ditong example is local levels, but also it discusses the negotiation between the government and the public. So ito po, pinapakita na po dito yung participatory governance. No? Meron ng participation yung public. Meron na silang stake doon sa programa ng gobyerno. So kasama na sila dun sa planning and implementation and as well as monitoring and evaluation of programs and projects. So dito naman recognize natin that not all goals are measured directly or quantitatively. Hindi naman lahat ng bagay ay may quantitative value. So pwede rin tayo magkaroon ng proxies to represent how goals are achieved. For example, if we're talking about the health of the human health of the Filipinos, we can actually check on, we can use proxies. For example, 75% of children are well-nourished, na hindi na sila wala na yung masyadong yung malnutrition. Or if we're talking about naman poverty alleviation, we can look at a proxy of increased employment, increased employed Filipinos in, for example, in the countryside. So yun po yung tinatawag natin proxy goals. And tinitingnan rin po dito yung kung paano nagko-convert yung inputs to outputs, the efficient and economical use of inputs and output. So yung concept ng traditional managerial is still pa rin siya, still practice pa rin siya sa process accountability. Kumbaga, lumalawak lang yung scope niya. So yung program accountability, it's more on the effect of the program. Yung process naman po, it is the effect of the program plus yung participation ng public or other government agencies in attaining that goal. No? So nagkaroon na ng participation. So nadadagdagan siya. But yung concept of fiscal efficiency and economy, nandun pa rin siya. Hindi siya nawawala. So let's now try to compare all types of accountability with regard to the questions na finormulate natin kanina. So tama ba yung insights ko kanina or tama ba yung insights ninyo na naisip ninyo while I was discussing the question? So sa taas po, makikita natin yung Sa taas po, makikita po natin yung types of accountability, traditional accountability, managerial accountability, program accountability, and process accountability. And then, yung first column naman po, it talks about yung questions. No? So, who is accountable? To whom is he accountable? To what standard or values is he accountable, and by what means is he made accountable? So traditional accountability, it talks about the employees and officials, 'di ba? Sinabi kanina na hindi naman automatic na head of the agency yung accountable pag traditional. Managerial accountability, he is traditional managerial accountability, accountable yung administrator, so as yung program accountability and process accountability. So administrators lahat yung accountable to all those aspects. And then number 2 question, to whom is he accountable? So when we talk about traditional accountability, people So lahat po ito is people, no? Because, so tama po yung naisip ko kanina na public talaga, yung accountable talaga ang isang government entity sa public. But meron po siyang mga parameters. So traditional accountability, people through legislature, president, and other constitutional bodies. Number two naman, managerial accountability naman, people pa rin through legislature, president, and other constitutional bodies. Same pa rin sila. And yung program accountability naman, same pa din, people through legislature, president, and other constitutional bodies. Because again, nagbabago lamang dito yung standards of values, but dun sa first three nagbabago siya. But dun sa process accountability, same pa din, people through legislature, president, and other constitutional bodies, but meron na pong accountability directly to the people because meron na po kasing concept of participation. And then to what standards or values is he accountable? So, yung traditional accountability, regularity, legality, and compliance. Managerial accountability, they are accountable to the values of economy and efficiency. Yung pangatlo po, program accountability, there are the government entity is accountable for the values or standards of economy, efficiency, and effectiveness. Diyan na po makikita yung um, magiging external niya in nature. Meron na pong effectiveness. And then yung last naman po is the economy, efficiency, and effectiveness, and centralization or participation of the people. So makikita na po siya na nandoon na po yung concept of participation. So I just want to clarify po, decentralization po ito, not centralization po. Decentralization po ito. And participation. So makikita na po dito na nadadagdagan lang siya. Pero yung konsepto na economy, efficiency, compliance to laws, nandun pa rin siya. But nag-iiba-iba lang siya in terms of the goal of the type of accountability or to the value of the type of accountability. By what means is he made accountable? So, kanina po, binanggit ko kanina, if it's fiscal, maybe it's line item budgeting, traditional accounting, and operating procedures. Managerial accountability, management, audit, and systems improvement because you also improve the processes in the government to cut the red tape. Sinabi ko po yung kanina sa definition. And then program accountability, comprehensive audit, and program evaluation. So, sinabi ko rin po kanina that we are actually after the effects of the government operations. No? So, effective government operations po. And process accountability naman, how do the government institution negotiate to the public? How do they apply the opinion, the insights of the public in terms of the development, in terms of the implementation of their programs and projects? So before I start po, let me just prepare my next slide po. So now that we've tackled the different types of accountability and its relation to the questions, let's now proceed naman kung ano ba yung types of public administrative models, and later on we're going to compare them to the we're going to match them kumbaga doon sa types of accountability and doon sa public administrative model. So for those who studied public PA 201, medyo alam na po natin itong mga definition na ito or yung mga types na ito. So, I'm going to focus on the review of the PA models to understand the changes of accountability over time. And then I'm going to also review the basic goals or focus of the PA models and their features and its relation to the types of administrative accountability. So, magdi-discuss po tayo ng PA model. Specifically po yung traditional public traditional public administration model, administrative model, development administration, yung new public administration, and yung development public administration. So, yung pong 4 na yun po yung i-discuss natin na public administration. So, let's begin. So, traditional public administration. So, again, it focuses on maintenance. So, naalala ko po dito, yung ano, yung tumatak sa akin when I was taking PA 201. So, yung obsession with the concept of the one best way. So, very linear po siya, very input-oriented. So, ang kanyang goal and focus is attention on the internal organization wherein the society is often a neglected variable. So, negligible po yung society when you implement additional public administration. You are looking at your internal organization. Paano ba natin mama-maximize yung inputs natin? Paano ba natin ma-maximize yung input natin in terms of fiscal administration, in terms of organizational and management, in terms of personal administration. In fact, ang kanyang success, no, is that a satisfactory performance of the staff would lead to a better public administration. So, very internal po ang traditional public administration. It does not talk about what would be the effect of a satisfactory performance of the staff to the public, to the society, to our program. So, hindi po niya masyadong iniisip po yung ganong aspect na yun. It also talks about that the cost, no, that if the cost is low, then the output would be justified. So, very, ano po siya, very traditional accountability rin siya, no? And managerial accountability siya. Dapat yung efficient and economic use of the resources. Okay. Development administration naman, on the other hand, it gained popularity when colonies gained political independence. So, basically, merong obsession talaga na magkaroon ng tools and methods or the use of tools and methods to gain economic growth. So, gumagamit to ng sociology and economics. So, ang kanyang focus, ang kanyang goal is the management of economic growth for developing economies and third world countries using tools and theories. Ang kanyang focus po talaga is economic growth. Paano ba ma-achieve itong economic growth? So, again, society is still a negligible value in DA. Hindi po rin niya masyadong tinitignan yung external effects ng kanyang mga programa or kanyang mga implementation in terms of improvement of processes. Hindi pa rin niya tinitignan yun. So, ang kanyang basic feature, it uses tools to improve aspects of planning and implementing staff functions. So, paano niya may improve kanyang yung kanyang mga tauhan, no? Yung kanyang staff functions. Economy and efficiency remain to be evaluative concepts of the success of PA. So, meron pa rin siyang concept that the cost should be lower than the benefits, no? It also uses so ito po yung example niya, during the Vietnam War, it uses the tools of planning, programming and budgetary system, PPBS. So, again, very internal ang kanyang outlook, planning inside, programming inside, and budgetary system inside pa din po ito. These are all internal concepts that is being used and reinforce the concept of value-free techniques. So, dapat hindi po influence ng ating personal gain, personal preferences po ang ating decisions. Kaya po talagang meron siyang, kaya siya gumagamit ng various methods and tools to avoid that value, to ensure that the techniques that we are actually implementing are all value-free. New public administration naman po, it is born in the 70s in the United States because scholars found out that the traditional PA was largely irrelevant for a society that is looking for justice and equity. So ito naman po, nakikita na po natin yung social, yung time ng 70s po sa United States, humahanap na ng social accountability yung mga scholars. Ano ba talaga yung effects ng programa sa amin, to the society, sa aming needs, yung mga ano ba, yung traditional PA ba, yung DA ba, it really, do they make sure that merong effects yung programa sa tao? So, ang goal ng new public administration is to really meet the human needs of people. So, by developing responsive and effective programs to meet human needs. So, ang basic feature niya, value neutral discipline was rejected kasi nga may value na siya. Ang value mo is for the people to meet the human needs, no, to attain that para magkaroon ng improvement sa lives ng mga Filipino, sorry, ng mga tao para ma-attain or ma-meet nga yung kanilang human needs. So kaya siya naging value free. Kaya value neutral discipline was rejected. Project management and modular organization were advocated in replacement of the bureaucracy. Hindi po naniniwala ang new public administration na kailangan may malaking na may madaming hierarchy sa isang government institution. So, pwede siyang modular lang siya, ad hoc, needs basis siya. So, kaya po sinasabi na kaya yun po yung concept ng modular organization. So, just for my secondary research, focus on the responsiveness, accessibility, and affordability of program for ease of accessible of clientele or beneficiaries. For example, in the Philippines, during the era of Marcos, so he decentralized the government by establishing field offices in the regions to bring services closer, accessible, and more responsive to people. So doon na nga po pumapasok yung concept ng project management and modular organization. Para ma-achieve natin pa rin yung efficiency and economy, kailangan natin ibaba ang mga programa sa ating mga regions. Yung po yung ginawa ni Marcos during his time. Nagkaroon po ng mga field offices po. So nagkaroon po ng decentralization. This cuts time for people to actually access the products and services of the government. They are more responsive kasi mas direkta ng nararamdaman ng mga tao and mas accessible lang because again, mas direkta ng nararamdaman ng mga tao. When we talk about responsive, mas reflective na sa needs ng mga tao sa region na to yung kanilang yung binibigay ng ating gobyerno. And then development public administration naman, DPA advocates for the continued productivity as the base upon which the basic needs would be provided for everyone in the society. Kung kanina po, yung new public administration, tinitignan lang niya na dapat ma-meet yung human needs ng mga tao. Dapat responsive siya and effective programs. Dito naman po, sinasabi niya, okay, i-meet natin yung basic needs ng mga tao. But tingnan pa rin natin yung efficiency and productivity inside the organization. So again, like I said, similar to NPA, DPA emphasizes on the social justice, equity, and centrality of the human person, but it also recognizes the role of bureaucracy in delivering goods and services. So kailangan pa rin makita na may role ang government in terms of meeting the human needs, no? Bureaucracy exists not only within its own society but in the context of global system as well, which has an implication in the constraints in the policies of the nation. So because we're looking at the global system, so parang gusto natin makita niya yung government, yung bureaucracy, nakikiisa rin siya sa mga global trends. But again, it has a constraint in terms of developing policies. Kasi syempre dapat adaptive siya sa global trends, but it also parang affects yung ability natin to develop national policies in the context of our country, di ba? So kasi magkaiba naman kasi yung kumbaga yung situation ng ibang bansa sa ating bansa. So how you match the trend and our situation is also another issue. So nagkakaroon na dito ng inclusion of regular long-term programs whereby lessons are acknowledged and applied. So meron na po ditong recognition na dapat ang isang programa ay hindi short-term, 'di ba? Kanina dun sa new public administration, very siya, 'di ba? Very modular siya, ad hoc siya kung kinakailangan gagawin. But dito naman sa development public administration, kailangan magkaroon ng regular long-term programs. And also, when we implement those regular long-term programs, dapat yung lessons natin ay na-identify natin and of course, ina-apply natin. So maintenance and continuity are processes or concept practiced in DPA. So ginagawa pa rin yung maintenance and continuity, meaning yung how we deal with the internal organization still exists. So naulit lang po yung inclusion of regular long-term programs. And then meron na rin po ditong concept of community development. So ibig sabihin, meron na rin pong participation ng public. Kanina po kasi sa NPA, wala po yung participation part. But sa DPA po, nandun na rin po yung concept of public participation in terms of the implementation, in terms of the monitoring and evaluation of programs and projects in the government. So, natapos na po natin yung PA models, yung review ng PA models natin. Now, let's try to, to match yung types of accountability and kung saang PA model siya applicable or related, no? So, yeah. So, accountability in public administration. So, we're going to match the concept of administrative accountability to the PA model. So, before I discuss to you kung ano po ba yung relationship, kung ano ba yung tamang matching ng accountability in public administration, let's just try to guess kung ano ba siya by I'm going to show you the types of accountability. And then I'm going to give you 5 seconds or 10 seconds to guess kung anong type or kung anong PA model siya nakamatch. So timer starts now. Okay, so tapos na po yung 10 seconds natin. And now let's check po if tama ang inyong hula or tama ang inyong reflection sa mga pinag-usapan natin so far. So traditional accountability by the keyword itself is related to the traditional public administration. Managerial accountability. So since we're talking about efficiency and economy and internal organization, it can be applied to the traditional PA and development administration. Now, when we talk about program accountability, ano kaya yung sagot? So it's again the new public administration. So we're talking about the efficiency of the program or the effects of the program in terms of meeting the human needs, but wala pa po dun yung concept ng participation. So, ang process accountability is about development public administration. So, because it actually promotes participation of the public in terms of program implementation, monitoring, and evaluation. So, para lang po magkaroon ng detail discussion, ano ba yung reasons natin? Bakit po natin sinabi na yung na yun ganun yung pag-match nung mga types of accountability and public administration models. So first po, traditional PA, traditional accountability. So again, traditional accountability demands the doctrine of political administration dichotomy wherein the legislature develops the policies and the bureaucracy naman is assigned for the execution of these policies. The focus of both concepts are internal kasi nga nandun ka lang sa execution of these policies. Paano ko ba maro-roll out yung sinasabi ng legislature? No? Paano ko magagamit yung aking fiscal resources properly? Traditional PA, development administration, and managerial accountability naman, D and managerial accountability both focus on the attainment of efficiency and economy of organizations. DA tools develop focus on inputs and improvement of staff functions. So, sabi nga ng DA kanina, very keen sila on terms of economy and efficiency and the use of inputs for the improvement of staff functions. So, very internal pa rin yung outlook niya. New public administration and program accountability. So, NPA cries for social justice and equity. Sorry po for the lack of a better word, pero medyo madrama siya. So, meron kasing movement na kailangan talaga ng social justice and equity. And makikita lang natin to kapag namimit natin yung human needs, no? So program accountability, on the other hand, aside from efficiency and economy, it also focuses on the effectiveness of programs and projects through the employment and evaluation. So makikita na nating effects, no, dun sa mga tao. Paano ba yung proseso ng isang government institution nakaka-affect doon sa ating pagmi-meet ng human needs na yon, 'di ba? So wala pa rin yung concept of participation, but somehow makikita natin na at least kahit papaano, no, external na yung view niya, na meron ng concept of impact, identification and evaluation. And then yung last naman po, development PA and process accountability. So both concepts um, encourage the participation of the public. The opinion and insights of the public affects on how decision makers apply this to the development or implementation of programs and projects. So yung again po, sinasabi ko lang po dito ay meron pong konsepto na nakikinig na dapat yung mga government officials o yung ating responsible entities sa gusto, sa needs ng ating public. Na again, it is not about the government agency, but it's about addressing the needs of the people. And sila lamang yung makakapag-identify nung yung kanilang, tawag dito, yung kanilang needs. Yun. So, I think that ends my report. So, standby lang po. Meron pa po mga hindi pa po tapos yung report ng Group 2, meron pa po tayong discussion, discussions by my other group mates. Thank you for listening to me and stay safe and yes.